acceptance of proposal and approval of contract for services from Trackman, Inc. for a range ball tracking system, including turnkey installation at KickingBird Golf for $456,000. We're going to have a presentation from our golf pro, Mr. Swanson.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor and City Council, for the opportunity. Anytime I get up before you all, I'd like to start out with kind of our project update as well, everything coming out of the ground, and kind of keep you informed of what you're seeing as you drive by. KickingBird Clubhouse project update. As you'll see driving by on Danforth, metal roofs are being installed on all buildings. Waterproofing on the exterior of the buildings is being completed, and the masonry work, if you drive by, has started on our far north building, which is our indoor teaching facility, and it's also started, harder to see, on the range pavilion, which is on the east side of the property. As you go to the interior of the buildings, as you'll see, metal stud framing has begun inside the clubhouse, the special events center, and the indoor teaching facility. The ductwork is being installed in the clubhouse and special events center, and the plumbing rough-in has started in the clubhouse as well. On the greens and irrigation side of the project, as you can see, some of you from the road, but most of it is back on the back nine. All the green surrounds have been sodded. 16 of the 18 greens on the course have been seeded. I do want to take this opportunity to let you know, as many of you are well aware, we did not experience a spring this year, and we chose to go with bent grass greens. Anybody that knows bent grass greens, that's a cool season grass. We have not had the temperatures that have been very cooperative, so that is the reason why the Superintendent Brad Jolliffe did make the decision to push back seeding holes number 9 and hole number 18 until August, when we can get shorter days and hopefully shorter nights. We know it's still going to be hot in August, but we don't want to battle that right now. So that's why we've still got 2 greens that have not been seeded at this point. We have laser leveled all tee boxes. All tee boxes and surrounds have been sodded. You will see a process going on, and I'll have a picture of it, where we are starting to sprig all of the fairways on the golf course. This was a project that superintendent came to me and wanted to try to accomplish it in-house. Literally saved us over $400,000 doing it this way rather than sodding the fairways. What we did was we bought a sprigger, we use our own manpower, and we go out and sprig the fairways with the new Tahoma Bermuda grass. So we have sprigged all fairways except for holes 10, 15, and 18. And then we will be sodding one hole, that's hole number 11. Most people cannot see it because that's where all the materials are being stored back by the maintenance facility. So we will be sodding that particular par 3 fairway. The irrigation system for the golf course has been completely installed at this point. We still need to do the short game practice area and all the areas around the clubhouse as well. I wanted to kind of show you some before and afters. This is particularly hole number 4. Again, you won't see it from the road, but as you can see, in February we were here and we're putting in our drainage in our bunkers, where all the green surrounds have been taken, all the dirt's been taken out. We've been installing our sub-air system into that green. And then as you can see in May, everything is completed on hole number 4, which is now being converted to that par 5, moving that green back down. Those of you that have played KickingBird before the renovations in '97, we are going back to a par 5. And this particular green at this point in May was not seeded, but it is seeded at this time, and the grass is germinated and is coming in. The reason I'm here before you this evening is to talk about Trackman range. Here is a picture of the driving range tee that is being developed. One of the changes to our driving range tee, as I have mentioned before, is we are going to a 3-level system so that we do not have a battleship approach for players as they're practicing. Under the old system, we had a 100-yard wide tee box by 50 yards long. So if you were on the back of the tee box, you couldn't see some of the short targets. So we're creating a 3-level driving range tee. And another thing, those of you that have practiced out of KickingBird before, we had a big, I'm going to call it ditch, goalie drainage area that was in between our short target greens and our far target greens, and we have filled that in with all of our excess material. So the Mid-American Golf and Landscape has done that at this point. What I'm here before you this evening is seeking approval for our Trackman range project. The cost of the Trackman range system, it's a range ball tracking system, 4 radars, all equipment in the computer, and it actually also includes a standalone Trackman 4 unit that will be used in our indoor teaching facility. That's for $360,000, and then installation and setup, if we choose to go with Trackman, is $95,000 turnkey. Grand total cost for the range ball tracking system is $455,000. It's very important. I think there was a little bit of confusion amongst staff and even the public of how our project is being funded. This particular unit is scheduled to be paid for out of the 2000 CIP reserve fund. Back in early April, Andy and I went before the CIP committee, and we talked about all of our FF&E that we were going to need for the clubhouse, and that included all of our electronic equipment for the pavilion, the indoor teaching facility, and then, of course, all of our furniture for our clubhouse. So that will be funded, as you can see, for $1.281 million out of the CIP reserve fund. Trackman range, we're going to be the only driving range in the state of Oklahoma to offer this technology. It will allow a golfer on his phone device to play games and to practice and have his data captured. And he creates an account on Trackman and can do that. If someone would like to bring out an iPad, they can use that on the driving range and play golf courses. It's kind of like a simulator experience, but you're hitting off of real turf or even our artificial turf at the back of the range. As with all projects that we take on at the golf course, it's very important that we make sure we create revenue streams that can cover the expenses. I know this is being paid for out of the CIP reserve, but we utilize the excess revenues to balance our budget as we move forward. This system, why it's so important, is a very integral part of, and you've heard me speak about it before, our driving range pavilion, where we're going to do top golf range entertainment experience in the evenings. One of our initiatives is community involvement. We understand that not everyone is a very serious golfer that might want to understand what all of these playing characteristics are on this screen, but they would like to hit towards flags and have fun hitting towards bullseyes and stuff like that. And so we're going to offer that from 6 o'clock p.m., 7 o'clock p.m. and later for more of an family entertainment, food and beverage type of system. Those of you that have played Top Golf, that's what we're looking to create. Basically, what we're looking to do to pay back on this system is there will be a range ball price increase, and then we will be selling monthly subscriptions to become a Trackman member on this range so that you will have access to do this each and every time you come out to practice. And based on the 65,000 tokens sold, I did not even increase any additional sales. In the projected 200 monthly membership subscriptions, it should generate an estimated $150,000 a year, which within 3 years will be pretty close to paying this particular project back, and then everything else is excess revenue. Again, as I mentioned, the only range in the state of Oklahoma to offer this technology. I also want to take this time, again, as I mentioned sooner, there were some questions. I know, Mayor, you and I had a phone call today speaking about, how are the projects being funded? And I just want to clarify again for all of you, so when you're asked questions from the citizens, the construction project itself is all being funded through bonds that were issued from the Edmond Public Works Authority and is being paid for out of the 2000 CIP sales tax fund. The construction cost of our project, as you can see on this screen, is $19.15 million. The clubhouse project was $13,478. We had change orders of $237. We have our greens and irrigation project, which came in at $4,498. Greens and irrigation change orders, that was when we added all of the laser leveling of all the tee box tops to that. And the actual cost to date with change orders and initial cost is $18,557,000. We do have a remaining balance for future change orders and needs that we will have. We have some needs over there at the pickleball facility as well as down by the indoor teaching facility, which of course all those change orders will be coming before you to be approved. But that's what lands us on the $19.15 million construction cost. That's funded out of the bonds, and everything else will be the FF&E again will be out of the CIP reserve fund on that. So, kind of quick snapshot of what we've got going on. But again, the item before you is the Trackman device and services.
Thank you.
So we need to start recruiting a long drive competition.
Well, and it's interesting you say that. I actually brought an article that someone had put in a top tracer and it doubled their involvement. And a lot of the stuff in the evenings, you run long drive contests close to the pin contest. There's all kinds of entertainment side of the things that can really be forward thinking on this project.
Club champion.
How far is the green water tower
Green water, and I mean, this is why we did what we did on our driving range tee, and this is a good point. It used to be 286 from the back of the tee box. We moved our driving range back 30 yards. Those of you that are golfers know that even 316 yards to that fence, which the green water tower is another 20 yards, UCO golfers are still hitting it off the water tower when they come out and practice. I have to go out and ask them to please do not hit range balls with drivers at KickingBird. You're hitting it too far.
So Brian, can you just kind of update everybody on the timeline estimates for Clubhouse and then the golf course?
Absolutely, because you'll see me back up here in just a little bit when we talk about our green fee schedule. But yes, we are anticipating open. Anybody that was at the parade, we actually were able to participate because we weren't working on July 4th, and we were advertising that we will be open. We feel really confident. All of the buildings should be open March of 2023. The issue is the golf course. Many of you are very well aware, if you look at your front yards, when it starts to turn November, it's dormant from November all the way until about into May, early June. We do not want to open the facility if the turf conditions are not such that it could handle the cart traffic and the increase in play that we do expect. Just like John Conrad just opened this past Saturday. They had an overwhelming response. Ran out of carts, the whole 9 yards. There's just a lot of demand, pin-up demand that will be there. So we will be very careful to take care of this investment, and I will really rely heavily on Brad Jolliffe, our golf course superintendent, to tell us when the greens, the fairways, and the tee boxes are ready for the play that we do expect. I will want to mention to the public that we will be very delicate in even how many tee times that we will allow. We may modify tee times to where we only do 10-minute intervals and maybe 4 10-minute tee times per hour, just to kind of regulate the amount of play that we are putting on the golf course before it hits full bloom, which is usually in June. So
You don't want to kill that baby grass.
that's exactly right.
It's expensive grass.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Brian.